The rain falls in sheets, a relentless gray curtain that blurs the world beyond the window. It hammers the glass with a rhythm that feels like a heartbeat. Steady, indifferent, alive in a way I am not. I sit here, hands pressed against the cold mende, watching the water streak downward in jagged lines, each drop of fleeting life and extinguished against the sill. My breath fogs the glass, a faint cloud of warmth that dissipates as quickly as it forms. There's something cruel in that, something that gnaws at me, though I can't name it yet. Outside, the street is empty, swallowed by the storm. Inside, I am emptier still. I've been sitting here for hours, or maybe days. I've lost the thread of time. The room is dim, lit only by the weak glow of a lamp flickering in the corner, its bulb threatening to die. The air smells of damp wood and stale coffee, the cup long abandoned on the table beside me. My fingers tremble as they trace the rim, not from cold, but from something deeper, something that coils in my chest like a snake waiting to strike. I want to scream, to shatter the silence, but my voice feels trapped, a prisoner behind my ribs. What would I even say? There's no one left to hear me. It started with the news, 3 days ago, or was it 4? The phone rang, its shrill cry cutting through the quiet like a blade. I picked it up, expecting nothing, and instead got everything I couldn't bear. She was gone. My sister, the one who'd laughed at my cynicism, who'd dragged me into sunlight when I'd rather wallow in shadow. She was gone. A car, a bridge, a river swollen with rain like this one. They said it was quick, as if that made it better, as if speed could erase the fact that I wasn't there, that I couldn't stop it, that I didn't even get to say goodbye. I hung up the phone and stood there, staring at the wall, waiting for the world to make sense again. It didn't. Now here I am, a ghost in my own skin, watching the rain and wondering why it gets to fall while I'm stuck here, motionless. My mind churns, a storm of its own. I see her rim face, those sharp green eyes, that crooked smile, and then I see the river, dark and churning, swallowing her whole. I try to imagine what she felt in those last seconds, but all I get is static, a blankness that terrifies me. Was she afraid? Did she think of me? Did she curse me for not being there? I slam my fist against the window, and the glass trembles but doesn't break. My knuckles throb, a dull ache that proves I'm still here, even if I don't want to be. What's the point of this? I ask myself. Or maybe the rain, or maybe the void that's been growing inside me since the call. What's the point of feeling this, of sitting here drowning in it, when I can't change a damn thing? She's gone, and I'm powerless, utterly, miserably powerless. The words it's like ash in my mouth. I've always hated it, that sense of being small, of being nothing against the vast, uncaring machine of the world. But now it's not just a feeling, it's a truth carved into me, a wound that won't close. I can't bring her back, I can't rewind time. I can't even cry properly. My eyes burn, but the tears won't come. The lamp flickers again, casting long shadows across the room. They stretch and twist, like fingers were reaching for me, and for a moment I wonder if they're hers, if she's trying to tell me something from the other side. But no, that's a lie I'd tell myself to feel better, and I'm too tired for lies. There's just me, the rain, and this unbearable weight, and yet beneath it something stirs, a question, faint but persistent, like an echo in the darkness. Why keep going? Why sit here at all? I don't have an answer, not yet. But the question lingers, sharp and unyielding, demanding a space. The rain hasn't stopped. It's louder now, a ceaseless roar that fills the room, drowning out the silence I'd come to hate. I've moved from the window to the floor, my back against the wall, knees pulled tight to my chest. The lamp gave up an hour ago, its last flicker a pitiful sputter before darkness claimed it. So I sit in near blackness, lit only by the occasional flash of lightning. Each burst throws the room into sharp relief. The coffee cup tipped over, the stain spreading across the table like blood. The photograph of her I'd torn from its frame and left crumpled in the corner. I can't look at it. but I can't throw it away either. It's a tether, a cruel reminder that she was real, that she was here, and now she's not. My hands clench into fists, nails digging into my palms until I feel the sting of broken skin. I want to feel something else, anything but this suffocating weight that presses down on me, pinning me to the earth like a specimen under glass. Powerlessness has a shape now, a form I can trace with my mind's eye. It's the river that took her, swollen and merciless, its currents laughing at my pleas. It's the phone call I can't unhear, the voice on the other end flat and final, stripping me of any chance to fight. It's the clock on the wall, ticking forward with mechanical indifference, dragging me away from her minute by minute. I hate it. I hate how it sits there, heavy and unyielding, mocking me with its permanence. I tried to move earlier, stood up, paced the room, even opened the door to the storm outside. The wind hit me like a slap, cold and wet. And for a moment I thought about stepping into it, letting it swallow me too. But my feet wouldn't budge. They stayed rooted, as if the floor had grown claws and hooked into me. What was I even going to do? Run to the river, dig through the mud with my bare hands, screaming her name until it gave her back? The thought is absurd, laughable, and yet it claws at me. A desperate fantasy I can't shake. I slammed the door shut instead, the sound swallowed by the rain, and sank back to where I am now, trapped, useless. There's a memory that keeps surfacing, unbidden, sharp as a knife. We were kids, maybe 10 and 12, standing on the edge of that same riverbank. It was summer then, the water calm and glittering, and she'd dared me to jump in. I'd hesitated, always the cautious one, but she'd grabbed my hand and pulled me with her, laughing as we hit the water. It was cold, shocking, but her grip was warm, steady. "See," she'd said, grinning as we surfaced. "It's not so bad when you start fighting it." I'd rolled my eyes, called her reckless, but I'd felt alive. Now that memory twists into something else. Her hand is slipping from mine, the water turning dark and hungry, pulling her under while I stand on the shore. Too late, too weak to save her. What's the point of remembering? I ask the darkness, my voice a rasp that barely breathed the air. The world doesn't answer, it never does. It spins on, oblivious, while I sit here drowning in questions it won't dignify with a response. I want meaning, some thread to pull that makes this make sense. But there's nothing, just the rain, the river, the empty space where she used to be. It's absurd, this clash between what I need and what I get. I need her back. I need to have been there, to have seen the car skid, to have yanked her out before the bridge gave way. But the world doesn't care about my needs. It shrugs, and she's gone, and I'm left here with my fists and my fury, and my nothing. Lightning flashes again, illuminating the crumpled photo in the corner. Her face stares back at me, frozen in that crooked smile, and something in me snaps. I crawl toward it, my hands shaking as I smooth the paper flat. Her eyes meet mine, and I feel the weight of it all, the loss, the futility, the unbearable truth that I can't change this. I can't undo it. Powerlessness isn't just a feeling anymore. It's the air I breathe, the blood in my veins. And yet, as I stare at her, a new question flickers through the haze, faint but insistent. If I can't change it, what do I do with it? The photo lies flat in my lap now, her smell a faint smear under my thumb, where I've rubbed it too hard. The rain has softened to a murmur, a low hum that seeps into the walls, but the darkness holds firm, wrapping me in its cold embrace. I don't move, I don't blink. I just sit here, staring at her face, letting that question from before, that faint, nagging flicker, grow louder. If I can't change it, what do I do with it? It's not a plea anymore, not a cry to the storm or the river. It's something else, something that turns inward, a voice speaking to the hollow place inside me. And for the first time since the phone rang, I listen. "What do you want from me?" I ask it. This void that's taken root where my heart used to be. My lips don't move, but the words echo in my skull, sharp and clear. The silence answers, heavy and vast, stretching out like a mirror I can't escape. I see myself in it, small, broken. A man clutching a crumpled photo as if it's a lifeline. "What do you want?" I ask God again, louder this time, my voice cracking the air. The void doesn't flinch. It just sits there, patient, eternal, waiting for me to figure out what I already know. It wants nothing. It doesn't care. It's the river, the rain, the ticking clock. It's everything that keeps going while I unravel. I laugh, a dry, jagged sound that surprises me. Of course it wants nothing. It's not a person, not a god, not even a cruel joke. It's just there. And that's the worst part, isn't it? I've been raging at it, begging it, hating it as if it's something I can fight. But it's not a fight. It's a fact. She's gone. I wasn't there. I can't bring her back. The void doesn't taunt me with that. It simply is. And I'm the one tearing myself apart trying to make it mean something. I press my hands to my face, feeling the dampness on my cheeks. Tears, finally. Not the relief I'd hoped for, just another weight to carry. "So what now?" I ask, dropping my hands, staring into the dark. The void tilts its head, if it has a head, and I imagine it shrugging, a shadow against shadow. "You tell me," it seems to say. "You're the one still breathing." I want to scream at it, to tell it I don't know, that I don't want to know, that I'd rather it swallowed me too. But the words don't come. Instead, I feel something shift, a crack in the despair, small but real. If it doesn't care, if it's not here to punish or save me, then maybe I don't have to give it what it won't take. Maybe I don't have to break. I think of her again that day by the river. "It's not so bad when you stop fighting it," she'd said. Water dripping from her hair, her laugh bright against the sun. I'd thought she was naive, that fighting was the only way to live. But what if she was right? Not about giving up, never that, but about letting go of the need to bend the world to my will. The void hums, a low vibration I feel in my bones, and I wonder if this is what it's been waiting for. Not surrender, but recognition. The world is what it is. She's gone. I'm here, and that's all there is. Lightning flickers outside, weaker now, and I catch my reflection in the window, haggard, hollow-eyed, but still me. The void doesn't own me yet. I can't change what happened, can't claw her back from the river's grip, but I can sit here with it. I can feel it. I can hate it and hold it and let it tear me open without letting it win. It's not an answer, not a victory. Just a thread, thin and frayed, pulling me towards something I can't yet name. What do I do with it? I ask one last time, and the void stays silent, leaving me to decide. The rain has dwindled to a whisper, a faint patter against the roof that feels more like a memory than a presence. I'm still on the floor, the photo cradled in my hands, but the darkness doesn't feel so heavy now. It's not gone. God, no, but it's different. Like a shadow I've learned to stand beside instead of under. My reflection lingers in the window, a ghost of a man staring back, and I don't look away this time. I see the hollows under my eyes, the lines carved by grief, and I think, this is me. This is what's left. And somehow that's enough to make me move. I stand slowly, my legs unsteady from hours of stillness. The photo slips to the floor, and I let it lie there, her smile turned upward like a quiet challenge. The void is still here. I feel it humming in the corners, watching me with its blank eye, unblinking gaze. But I don't ask it anything now. I don't need to. It's shown me what it is, a fact, not a fate. She's gone. I can't change that. But I'm still here, breathing, aching, alive, in a way she can't be. And that's where it starts. This thing I didn't know I had in me until the silence forced me to find it. Rebellion. I stumble to the table, my hand brushing the spilled coffee, the cold stickiness of it grounding me. I grab the cup and hurl it against the wall. It shatters, ceramic fragments scattering like tiny stars across the floor, and the sound, sharp, defiant, cuts through the quiet, like a scream I couldn't let out before. The void doesn't flinch, but I do. My chest heaving, my pulse pounding in my ears. It's not about the cup. It's about the act, the refusal to sit still and let the weight crush me. I can't bring her back, can't stop the river or the rain, but I can break something. I can move. I can prove I'm not done. I turn to the door, the one I'd opened and shut in despair hours ago, and this time I don't hesitate. I fling it wide, the hinges groaning, and step into the storm's remnants. The air is cold, damp, thick with the scent of wet earth and decay, but it fills my lungs like a lifeline. The street is still empty, the world still indifferent, but I don't care. I walk, barefoot, shirt clinging to my skin, toward the river, not to save her, not to drown myself, but to race it. My feet slap against the pavement, each step a pull. A rhythm that says, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. The void can't take that from me. When I reach the bank, the water is calmer now. A dark mirror reflecting the clouded sky, I stand at the edge, the mud sucking at my toes, and stare into it. I see her in my mind, laughing, pulling me in that summer day, and I feel the ache twist deeper. A blade I'll never pull out, but I don't look away. You took her, I say, my voice low, steady, not to the river, but to the absurd, senseless truth of it all. But you don't get me. The words hang in the air, swallowed by the wind, and I don't expect an answer. I don't need one. Saying it is enough. I bend down, scoop a handful of mud, and fling it into the water. It lands with a soft plop, ripples spreading outward, then fading. It's nothing. A pointless gesture against a force that doesn't care. But it's mine. I do it again and again, my hands caked with earth, my breath ragged. Each throw is a shout, a reflip, a spark struck against the dark. I can't change what happened, can't rewrite the past, but I can live in this moment, this messy, broken, defiant now. The river keeps flowing, the rain keeps dripping, and I keep throwing, because I can, because I will, because stopping would mean letting it win. Exhausted, I sink to my knees, the mud cold against my skin. My hands tremble, but not from weakness, from something fierce and something alive. The void is still there, vast and silent. But it's not to my master. I'm powerless to undo her death, powerless to make the world cur. But I'm not powerless to feel it, to fight it, to carry it with me. And as I kneel there panting, staring at the river's endless flow, I know this isn't the end of the pain. It's the beginning of something else. The river keeps moving, a slow, relentless glide that catches the first gray light of dawn. I'm still on my knees, the mud caked up to my elbows, my breath a faint mist in the cold air. The storm has passed, leaving behind a world washed clean but unchanged. Puddles gleam on the pavement, the trees drip quietly, and the water flows on. Indifferent as ever, I don't throw anything now. My hands rest heavy in my lap, the fight drained out of me, but not the fire. That burns low, steady, a coal I didn't know I could carry until I had to. I look at the river and it doesn't look back. It doesn't need to. I think of her, always her laugh, her reckless pull, the way she'd made the world feel bigger just by being in it. The ache is still there, sharp and deep, a wound I'll wear like a second skin. I can't change that she was gone. I can't rewrite the moment the car hit the bridge. Can't claw through time to pull her out. That's the truth I've been wrestling with since the rain started, since the phone rang, since I sat in the dark and let the void stare me down. It's the truth I threw mud at, the truth I broke a cup for, the truth I walked here to face. And now, as the sky lightens and the world wakes up without her, I know it's the truth I'll live with. I stand, the mud cracking as I move, and wipe my hands onto my shirt. It's a small thing, pointless in the grand scheme, but on it feels right, like claiming myself back from the mess. The river doesn't care, the void doesn't care, and maybe that's the point. They don't have to. I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing it for me, for her, for the space she left that I refuse to let grow cold. I take a step back from the bank, then another. My eyes fixed on the water. It's not a retreat. It's a choice. I'm not drowning in it today. The walk home is slow, deliberate, my bare feet numb against the wet ground. The photo's still there, I know, waiting on the floor where I left it. I'll pick it up when I get back. Smooth it out again, maybe even find a new frame. Not to forget, not to heal. There's no healing from this. But to keep her with me in the only way I can. The void hums behind me. A shadow I'll never outrun, but it's not my enemy anymore. It's just there. Like the river, like the rain. Like the absurd, stupid, beautiful fact of being alive when she isn't. And I can live with that. When I reach the house, the door still hangs open. The air inside damp and still. I step over the broken cup, the shards glinting in the faint light, and bend to retrieve the photo. Her smile is softer now. Or maybe I'm seeing it differently. Less a taunt, more a tether. I sat on the floor again, not because I'm trapped, but because I choose to, and hold her face in my hands. The tears come quietly this time, sliding down my cheeks without fanfare, and I let them fall. They're not weakness. They're proof I'm still here, feeling it all, refusing to look away. The sun rises fully, a pale glow creeping through the window, and I close my eyes against it. I think of Camus, a name I'd read once in a book she'd left on my shelf. Something about a man pushing a rock up a hill forever, knowing it'll roll back down. I'd thought it was bleak then, pointless. Now I get it. It's not about winning. It's about pushing. About living in the push. About finding something in the struggle that the void can't touch. I can't change everything. I can't change her death, but I can live with the pain. Not despite it, but because of it. And as the light warms my face, I breathe, and it's enough.